Hey guys, I'm Alfred Porteous and welcome to week 18 of the Premier League review. If you want to know the series, what we do is we take a look at the past set Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table, and we finish off by looking at the Premier League top goal scorers. So here is the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Saturday the 16th, Sunday the 17th, and Monday the 18th of December 2017. Also next to games are the time in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific game, just go to time next to the match and skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with Manchester City versus Tottenham. Manchester City took the lead in the 14th minute when Tottenham forgot how to defend. It came from a corner that Leroy Sané whipped into the box, and on the end of it, completely unmarked, was Ilkay Gundogan, who powered his header past Hugo Lloris. And Man City doubled their lead in the 70th minute thanks to Kevin De Bruyne. He was on the floor a minute ago after a bad challenge from Del Alli, but he picked himself up as Ilkay Gundogan laid the ball off for the Belgian, and he absolutely smashes it past Hugo Lloris, who despite getting a hand to it, can't stop it. And Man City will get the perfect chance to kill the game 5 minutes later when they were given a penalty when Jan Vertonghen fouled Kevin De Bruyne, stonewall penalty, and it was rightly given. Gabriel Jesus stepped up to take it, but his penalty is a little wide and it hits the post, and Raheem Sterling couldn't finish the rebound. But Man City would get their third 5 minutes later when Raheem Sterling made it 3-0. Moussa Dembele gave the ball away to Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield. He found Leroy Sané on the left, who drove towards goal. He waits, allowing Raheem Sterling to catch up, lays it off, and the winger tapped into the net. And Man City will get their fourth and 90th minute. Raheem Sterling got his second of the match. Bernardo Silva played a through ball that goes right past Eric Dyer. Raheem Sterling is there to knock it through the legs of Hugo Lloris, and all that was left was to tap the ball home. But Tottenham would get a consolation goal with the final chance of the game. Tottenham had hardly done anything all game, but with the final kick of the ball, they grab a goal. It was a good goal as well, as Christian Eriksen ran towards goal, cut inside and put the ball into the bottom corner, and if they did that earlier on in the game, then perhaps this one would have been a bit more competitive. And that is how the game ended. Both teams lucky to have all 11 men on the pitch at the end, with both Nicolas Otamendi and Dele Alli both having fouls that could have and should have been straight reds. Man City breezed past Tottenham, the last top 6 sides they needed to face in the first half of the season, and yet again they go past like they're not even there. Manchester City's record run of winning games is now up to 16, and they are well on their way to this title. And we move on to Watford versus Huddersfield. Huddersfield took the lead early on, as only 6 minutes into the match, Elias Kachunga gave the visitors the lead. It came from a corner from the right that was put in, and it's just a Gormor scramble on the goal line, and eventually it fell to Elias Kachunga, who poked in from about a yard's out. Not a pretty goal, but the Huddersfield fans won't care. And Huddersfield doubled their lead 20 minutes later when Aaron Moy made it 2-0 to the Terriers. Yet again, not a pretty goal, as a ball into the box by Colin Quainer. It deflects off of Moy and it trickles into the back of the net. And the game was pretty much over in the first half when Watford were reduced to 10 men when their captain Troy Deeney got sent off. It was quite a nasty challenge from the skipper on Colin Quainer, and the ref showed the straight red. Not quite sure about this one though. It could have been a yellow, but the refs give a straight red for some reason. But Watford have just been getting people sent off every game recently, as this is their third red card in 3 games. Lack of discipline? Probably. And Huddersfield made it 3-0, 10 minutes in the second half. Some bad defending from Watford this one, as they lost possession in the middle, and that allowed Tom Ince to sprint forward. Jose Holebas's attempts to tackle him but fails miserably. The ball falls to Laurent Depois, who fires in from 8 yards out. But 10 minutes later, both teams were down to 10 men as Huddersfield Jonathan Hogg was sent off. Richarlison attempted to tackle him, and it looked like Hogg may have kicked the ankle of the Brazilian. Ref showed a second yellow. It looked a bit harsh, and if they attempt to get this overturned, they will probably be successful. But Watford would pull a goal back in the 68th minute through Abdoulaye Doucouré. A lovely strike as well, as the French midfielder has the ball about 20 yards out. He smashes it and it flies into the net like a bullet. But Huddersfield will get the perfect chance to put the game beyond any doubt in the 89th minute when they were awarded a penalty. 0-0 as Abdoulaye Doucouré brought down Laurent Depois in the box. The ref pointed to the spot, Aaron Moy stepped up to take it, and he dispatched the penalty for his second and Huddersfield's fourth. And as the game ended, quite a surprising result. I'm pretty sure not many people would have had Huddersfield to win so emphatically. This was a great game for a neutral as well. 2 red cards, 5 goals, 1 amazing one. Wow. Huddersfield keep surprising people this season with them picking up wins over teams you wouldn't quite expect, and for Watford, it's yet another disappointing result after starting the season so brightly. And we move on to Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Liverpool took the lead in the 20th minute when Philippe Coutinho took on the entire Bournemouth back line. The Brazilian picked the ball up about 30 yards out. He drives at the Cherries' defence. A run from Andy Robertson takes one of the defenders out of it, but he still has work to do as he dances inside of 2 Bournemouth defenders before slotting the ball home at the near post. And Liverpool doubled their lead 5 minutes later when Dejan Lovren made it 2-0. He scored on the right end, I know. Shocking. It came from a corner as Bournemouth just switched off for a second. The corner was put in, it was flicked on, but it looked like the ball was going out. But Roberto Firmino does well to hook the ball back in, and on the end of it, diving in very low to meet it with the header, was Dejan Lovren, who put the ball home. And Liverpool got their third on the break of half-time when Mo Salah got his 14th Premier League goal this season and his 20th in all competitions. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain started this one as he played the ball down the right-hand side. Mo Salah got on the correct side of Charlie Daniels, cut inside of Nathan Ake, and shoots low and finds the bottom corner. And Liverpool made it 4-20 minutes into the second half. Phil Coutinho whipped in a cross into the box, and on the end of it, ghosting between Steve Cook and Samuel Francis, was Bobby Firmino, who glanced his header past the keeper. However, he did look a little bit offside. The linesman didn't wait for it, but by the looks of it, he probably should. And that's how the game ended. A great win for Liverpool, who struggled against Bournemouth last season. If you cast your minds back to the game where Liverpool were 3-1 up, bottling it in the last 10 minutes and losing 4-3. So I was never comfortable in this match. Bournemouth had one great chance, but Defoe hit the post, and if we're being completely honest, 4-0 is a well-deserved scoreline, because apart from that chance, Bournemouth rarely threatened and Liverpool were by far the better side. And we've got Everton versus Swansea. It was a pretty boring first half, but there was some action at the end of the first half, as in the 35th minute, Swansea took the lead through Leroy Fer. It came from a corner that Tom Carroll took, and it went incredibly high. Mason Holgate doesn't do anything as Leroy Fer escapes Ashley Williams and headers the ball home. And with the last chance of the half, Everton got the perfect chance to level the game up when they were given a penalty, when Roque Meza was just to have clipped the heels of Aaron Lennon, and the ref pointed to the spot. Wayne Rooney stepped up to take it, but his penalty was pushed onto the post by Fabianski, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin reacts the quickest and puts the rebound home. And Everton took the lead 20 minutes into the second half when Gylfi Sigurdsson put Everton ahead for the first time. Wayne Rooney burst forward before giving it to Sigurdsson, who drifts outside and hits a lovely shot from 30 yards out, and it flies into the back of the net. And Everton will get another penalty in the 73rd minute when Martin Olsen brought down John Joe Kenny, and the ref pointed to the spot. For some reason, firstly, the foul was outside of the box, so it should have been a free kick, and two, it was barely a foul, so 2 doses of bad luck for Swansea there. Rooney stepped up to take it again, and this time he makes no mistake as he blasts his penalty into the bottom corner. And that's how the game ended. After going down, Everton did well to get back into it, and in the end secured a pretty comfortable 3-1 win. Swansea were unlucky, especially for that second penalty decision, but they didn't really challenge anywhere, so I doubt even if the penalty wasn't given, Swansea would have got something. I highly doubt that. Everton pick up some more points, and the Toffees remain unbeaten under Sam Allardyce. And we move on to Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace were the better side for the opening of the match, and they got what they deserved in the 18th minute thanks to Christian Benteke. Yohan Cabaye laid a pass off to Andros Townsend. The winger played a perfect cross from the right and straight on the head of Benteke, who planted his header into the back of the net. And Palace doubled their lead 20 minutes later thanks to Wilfried Zaha. It started when Riyad Mahrez gave the ball away. Benteke drove the ball forward before laying the ball off to Wilfried Zaha. Zaha still has some work to do, but he does it all so easily, as he sends Bell Chilwell with a fake shot, goes inside him, and thumps it home. And things would go from bad to worse for Leicester when they were reduced to 10 men when birthday boy Wilfred Ndidi was sent off. It's the worst thing you can get sent off for, as he goes down in the box under slight pressure, but there was no touch on him. He goes down like a sack of spuds, and the ref gives him a second yellow for diving. Happy birthday to you. And Palace got the third with one of the last kicks of the game. Palace won the ball back in their own half, go and attack. Wilfried Zaha was at the heart of it as he sends Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Leicester found themselves in a 2-on-1 situation. Bakary Saka was the man to shoot as he killed a delightful effort into the top corner from the edge of the box. And that's how the game ended. Crystal Palace went into this game without having scored an away goal all season, so for them to come to an informed Leicester and thump them 3-0 is an amazing result. Palace's performance have been getting better and better, and they thoroughly deserved the win today. They were the better side throughout the game, they all did their job well, and they got what they deserved in the form of 3 points. And we move on to Stoke versus West Ham. West Ham got the perfect chance to take the lead in the opening 20 when they were given a penalty. Eric Peters brought down Manuel Lanzini in the box. The ref pointed to the spot. Wait a minute though, Manuel Lanzini dived. Straight up dive, so expect the FA to hit Lanzini with a ban in the next few days, but that won't do anything to help Stoke fans as Mark Noble stepped up, and the man who never misses a penalty didn't miss as he put the Hammers ahead. And West Ham doubled their lead in the 75th minute when Marko Arnautovic scored against his old club. It had been coming as Manuel Lanzini pinged the ball over the top of the Stoke defence into the path of Arnautovic. He took a touch and finished past Jack Butland, and he went mental. He celebrated like he's never scored before. And West Ham buried the game in the 86th minute when they made it 3-0 through Diafra Sakho. Javier Hernandez played a lovely ball to Sakho, and the substitute sends the ball into the back of the net from inside the box. And as the game ended, West Ham are looking great since Moyes took over, with them winning back-to-back Premier League games for the first time in a year. And it's quite the opposite for Stoke, who suffered their 3rd league loss in a row, and the Stoke fans are now calling for Mark Hughes' head. And we move on to West Brom versus Manchester United. The first shot on target would result in the first goal as Manchester United took the lead on the half-hour mark. Marcus Rashford has the ball, he crossed it into the box, and on the end of it, out-jumping his man was Romelu Lukaku, who headed into the net. And Manchester United doubled their lead 5 minutes later through Jesse Lingard. West Brom failed to clear with chance, and it fell to Juan Mata, who picked out Lingard on the edge. He took a touch before hitting the ball low past the keeper with a little deflection from Ahmed Higazi. And after this, United would take that bus, beep beep, coming through, and they would park it, because United play the most boring football in the world. But West Brom would get a well-deserved goal in the 77th minute thanks to Gareth Barry. United failed to clear a corner as it hits Marcus Rojo. It bounces around for a while before falling to Barry, who slots home. And that is how the game ended. Manchester United lucky to have won that game, because as soon as West Brom scored, they were the better side and pushing for the leveller. United though do what they do best and defend all game, and they narrowly got a win over the Baggies, and it wasn't deserved by a long shot. And we went to Arsenal versus Newcastle. It was complete one-way traffic in this match as Arsenal eventually took the lead in the 25th minute thanks to a wonder strike from Mesut Ozil. It started with Alexis Sanchez as his attempted volley is blocked. It goes flying into the air. It's headed not very far away only to Mesut Ozil, who smashed the volley back across the keeper and into the top corner. And that is how the game ended. A very boring game, but Arsenal really should have had more. They had plenty of chances but were just wasteful in front of goal. Newcastle are in desperate times now with them picking up another loss, and they are very, very lucky that this loss was only by 1 goal. If we're being completely honest, Newcastle fans, you should have got bummed. And we went to Chelsea versus Southampton. It was a very boring first half, but the game would get a little bit of excitement when Chelsea took the lead on the brink of half time. It came from a free kick that Marcus Alonso took around 35 yards out. The Spaniard pushed it past the wall and it nestled into the bottom corner. And that was how the game ended. A quiet game this one, with Chelsea having a lot more chances but just being unable to find the net again, mainly because of Fraser Forster. He had a banging game in the Southampton net. Chelsea were on a good run with them winning 8 games from their last 10, but who cares about that when Man City winning 16 on the trot. And finally, we've got Brighton versus Burnley. Brighton got the perfect chance to take the lead in the 35th minute when Glenn Murray was brought down by James Tarkowski and the ref pointing to the penalty spot. Glenn Murray stepped up to take it, but his penalty is absolutely dreadful as he completely skies it and the game carried on 0-0, and that's how the game finished as well. A very boring one this one, with nothing really happening in the second half apart from a disallowed goal against Chris Wood for offside, which is correct. I'd say a good point on the road for Burnley, but Brighton will be kicking themselves that they couldn't find the net from the penalty spot. So that's all the games I've got for this, but before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Starting with the top 5, and as you see, Manchester City are still 11 points clear after dispatching Tottenham. Manchester United is second after narrowly beating West Brom. Chelsea are third after they beat Southampton. Liverpool are fourth after they put 4 past Bournemouth, and Arsenal are fifth after they beat Newcastle. Moving on to the bottom 5, with Swansea is still on the bottom after they were beat by Everton. West Brom are 19th after they lost to Manchester United. Newcastle make up the relegation zone after they lost to Arsenal. Stoke are 17th after being beat by West Ham, and Bournemouth make up the bottom 5 following their loss to Liverpool. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Mo Salah is still on the top, adding another goal to his tally. That took him up to 14 goals and 3 assists. Harry Kane is second on 12 goals and 1 assist. Raheem Sterling got a double against Tottenham. That took him into double figures on 11 goals and 3 assists. Also moving into double figures is Romelu Lukaku on 10 goals and 4 assists, and making up the goal scorers is Sergio Aguero on 10 goals and 3 assists. Right, so that's all I've got for you this time. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll be back on Sunday for the next episode of the Premier League review. Yeah, I'm going to do it on Sunday, aka Christmas Eve, because the games are on Friday and Saturday, and if I wait until Tuesday, I know I just won't have the time, but I should be fine to get it up on Sunday. If you want to follow us on Twitter to stay up to date when we upload a video or go live, you can. The link is in the description, or it's at @portionofsport_. If you want to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, the links to both of those are in the description as well. On my channel should be popping onto your screen round about now. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I'll see you soon.